struggling with ashy hands and feet, especially during the winter, this routine will have your limbs moisturized, glowy, put together, and also something proud to look at instead of just like dreading to look at your hands.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back. Today we're doing hands and feet care because yesterday I walked into the Apple store trying to grab a product, and as I was pointing to the product, my knuckles were so white, and even like the cracks and the cuticles, I didn't hear a single thing the lady said. Nothing. I was just staring at it. I said, when I get back to the car, I'm gonna need to do something. I'm gonna need to do some type of intense routine that I don't do every week, but this routine always gets my hands back. Because it's not only just like, one step, just putting moisturizer, or we're exfoliating, or putting on a mask, all of that. Also, we're gonna do a chit chat because I just feel like the winter blues is just over everyone. Everybody's just collectively feeling this feeling, especially this time of winter. So I wanted to do some chit chat, heart to heart, girl talk chit chat, where we can just talk. First, I'm gonna do my feet because I just feel like getting that out of the way. I feel like that's gonna take longer than taking care of my hands. So we're gonna start with the feet first. Having some type of feet care, feet routine is so important because not only does it eliminate odor, it keeps your feet looking moisturized. And I know even throughout all seasons, but I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's the winter, like I'm covering it up with socks and closed-toed shoes. What's the point? But there is a point. There's a point in taking care of the things we don't see. By the time summer rolls around, by the time spring and the hot weather, once you wear that flip-flops, your feet looks moisturized because you've been taking care of it. Feet care, I've always struggled. We're gonna go through this again for people that don't know me. I've struggled with dry feet, especially on my left foot. Random. I don't know why. I still struggle with it, but I think I know how to keep up with it now. Whenever I see it starting to get dry, I know what to do to moisturize it. So if you struggle with dry feet, odor, if you struggle with cracked feet, all of that, this is the routine that helps me just get my feet back into something I want to look at. I actually just took a shower, and I went to the shower. I did like my daily wash routine. So every single day I keep up with my feet care routine, making sure I wash in between my toes, underneath the toenail. Even though I do get pedicures like once in a while, I'm trying to do my pedicure at home, but I like when they paint it. So for the beginning of the year, I just went to them because I was like, let's start with that, and then I keep up with the maintenance. The first thing I did was wash my feet normally. I like using antibacterial soap for my feet because it just kills that bacteria. Where, especially during the winter, we're constantly wearing closed-toed shoes. It's constantly being trapped, the smell, all of that. I use some type of brush, something like this, where it's just something to help me actually get under it. If you just use your hands, then you do, but I just feel like using some type of scrub or some type of foot brush would just help it a little extra. Just get the things you can't really get with your bare hands. I mean, if you got alligator hands, what can I say? Get under there. If you want like a full detailed feet care routine, I actually have a just for feet care, and I talk more about it just in detail. Then after I get out of the shower, I soak my feet. My sister actually got me this thing. It was one of my Christmas presents that she got me. Basically, it's something that you fold and you soak your feet in it. I don't know where she got it from. I'm gonna ask her just so I can link it, but if not, just say like foldable foot soak container. This is so useful because I could keep this one in my studio, and then the one that like bubbles up from Costco, I could keep it at home. The best foot soak to literally have dead skin floating is apple cider vinegar and mouthwash. I don't know what this concoction does. I wish I could go to a scientist and be like, hey, can you explain to me why apple cider vinegar and mouthwash literally break this dead skin, and it literally leaves my feet feeling so new, fresh, exfoliated. I love it. Sometimes I don't even have to use actual like rock exfoliators. I just feel like this does enough. I put that together, let it sit with like warm water, not hot to the point where it's burning my feet. I just let it sit. I know that apple cider vinegar really helps detox everything from our foot. So I also feel like that makes it, maybe that like plays a role in making the skin loose. So like your dead skin falls out and just floats. I also think dead skin just being on our feet also causes and plays a big role on feet odor. And so because it's just taking things, and it's like you're not taking the dead skin off and exfoliating. This is my way of exfoliating my feet. During the winter, I'm gonna have to do it a little bit more, but once it's spring, summer, I don't struggle with dry feet as much as winter. Plus, it's like I'm wearing open-toed shoes, letting it air out. the air is not as cold and dry. So I just do this, and this routine has never failed me. So after I do that, I go in with this foot mask. Basically, it adds back that hydration, and I leave this foot mask on for about 30 minutes. I actually have it on right now. You can say. While I do my hand care, I'm gonna talk to you, but also just leave it on. We'll chit chat. I actually have notes of what to talk about today because I just need to get this off my chest. And I just feel like this will encourage someone. So if it does, let me know. If you resonate, let me know. Winter blues. I know we all have went through it or going through it right now. And I wanted to talk about that. But first, let's do the hand care. I'm also drinking this kombucha. It's the ginger lemon rosemary bear's fruit. Love it. And it's in the bathroom because I want it in the bathroom. My hand has been looking extra dry lately. I usually like carry hand cream or anything to just help my hands, and I also use cuticle oil every single night. So my cuticles don't look as bad, but just the cracks and the knuckles. Just look at this. Do you see this? I was like, we're not doing this. Hand care is also very important because our hand ages just like our skin. Like it's something that we forget about, you know, putting on, you know, sometimes I forget to put SPF on my hands. And also I get my nails done a lot. So if you get your nails done a lot, make sure you're wearing SPF to just protect that hand. And this is also important because our hands and feet, it's easy to forget about, but it's our skin is our largest organ. So if you don't take care of it, it shows. It shows in the way that it just looks dull, looks ashy, looks dry, cracked, wrinkles faster. I want to be able to take care of my hands where in 10, 15 years, I'm slowing down that process. It still looks healthy. It looks elegant. It looks like something, you know, I look at while I'm driving. I'm like, looks so moisturized. I get my nails done, and getting your nails done, it's not cheap. So if I don't take care of it, it's gonna look like, you know, after the first week, my hands are dry and it doesn't look taken care of. Oh, but I have design. Like, if your hand is ashy right now, do this with me. Actually, first, look down. Look at your hands. What's the state of it? Because mine needs some help. Okay, we gotta be honest. The first thing is just washing my hands. I like using some type of moisturizing hand wash because, you know, there was this one time where I would just use dish soap for my hands because, you know, I'll be washing dishes and I'll just go in with dish soap. The way that dried out my hands, ever since like I started, you know, getting my own things, you know, making my own money, I just started buying like more, investing in more higher quality or something that has like just a moisturizing hand soap. Hand soap in general should not be too expensive. And it depends, like how many times do you wash your hands every day? You know, whenever you go to the bathroom, think about when you wash the dishes, in the morning, you know, before washing your face, when you wash your hands. Our hands touch water a lot, so you're helping add back that moisture by getting some type of hand soap that adds moisture to your hands. Hands are clean. The second is getting any type of exfoliation. This is what I'm gonna use today, Tree Hut. It can be anything. Honestly, I like this one because it has a lot of rocks. Whenever products like this have a lot of rocks, that's when I feel the difference that my skin is soft. Do you hear the rocks? Yeah, and I do this for a couple minutes. So as I mentioned, I feel like winter blues, especially this year, I feel like January got a lot of us. Because of just everything that has been happening. Towards the end of January, I really thought I was losing it. I was like, what's going on? But it's because we're consuming so much. I know it's good to keep up with the news and see like, you know, what's going on and keeping up with the world and not hiding yourself. I truly believe in that. The wildfires in LA, plane crashes, like so many things that was just happening. TikTok ban, that played a role, especially for me because I was actually really sad when they were like, you know, if you watch the Mexico vlog, you could see all the emotions I went through. And so I feel like for a month, we all collectively really went through that, but also it's winter. There's not as much sunlight. We're not outside a lot. There's also just like different, you know, maybe you're going through your own thing. On top of that, all of this is adding on to it. Maybe you're looking at other people and you're like, oh, how are they just, you know, going through life? Like, but something about social media, a lot of people say, it's a highlight reel. We see other people's lives, but we see the best parts of it. People never put on their story things they're struggling with, if, you know, they're lacking something for the day, what they're going through. You know, I know some people do, but it's not constantly that like social media is meant for, oh, something good happened to me, let me put this on, or I'm going on a trip, let me put this on. But I've also been feeling the winter blues because, and the cold doesn't even help it. If you're going through this and just feeling unmotivated, just know that these things do play a role. So I think especially right now, it's very important that we take extra care of ourselves. On the self-care level, vitamin D does play a big role because vitamin D, if you lack vitamin D, you know, there's fatigue, muscle pain. There's just all of these things that add up, and we do get our source from the sun. I'm East African, and I know like some of my family members, we lack vitamin D, and so like that plays a role on top of that, which makes you, you know, get sick faster. But also, did you know? It also even affects hair loss. You know, speak with your doctor if you are lacking, because some people are not and they just take it and it becomes too much for your body. But let me wash this and I'll finish. I just washed off the exfoliator. Do you see the glow already? It feels so soft. And it's because I was yapping, but it was helping. So next I'm gonna put on the fingers. So it's the same mask as the one I have on my foot. It's the Rose Fingers by Patchology Renewing Hand Mask Regenerator, shea butter, strawberry oil. I do this once in a while. I don't do this weekly, not even monthly. It's like the times I actually need it. So it's just 2 mittens. It's so cute. It feels so weird. Oh my goodness, do you see? Why does my wrist look so small? It's getting stuck. I have this on, now I can actually speak without getting it to rep. So as I was saying, limit the time that you're scrolling on social media, looking at different things. You know, I'm guilty of this too, where I doom scroll because, you know, social media is my full-time job. So sometimes I don't know the difference of, okay, scroll to get inspiration or scroll to doom scroll. For me, I have to set boundaries. Like, okay, I can scroll from this to this just to scroll. Also, another thing I have seen that has been affecting me is watching things that doesn't fill up my cup. Normally, I don't watch, you know, reality TV that has a lot of fighting. What is that gonna do for me? The woman I wanna be, I'm not gonna watch that because that's not where it's gonna lead me. Watch things that encourage you. I love watching YouTube videos. Like, I turn on All Alexis. When I tell you, she literally encourages so much. I've also been watching B. Simone. Her transformation, I know a lot of people have opinions about her, but personally, just watching her, God is just really transforming her. Her transformation is just helping so many people. You know, once in a while, watching something like, my guilty pleasure is Pop the Balloon. Listen, every Wednesday, I am tuned in for Arlette, sitting and waiting for the new episode. Just be mindful of what you consume, whether it's something you watch, whether it's something that you eat. Doing something too much is never good. Also, surround yourself with people that uplift you. Another thing that has just stuck with me is discipline equals confidence. If you have discipline, it boosts your confidence. It leads you to more confidence. That's something that I have seen. Whenever I have a structure and I pray about it, but also God guides my steps. That's my anchor, that's my foundation. And learning discipline through that really has been able to get my confidence. I know a lot of people are like, how are you so confident to do social media, to be in front of the camera? It's really discipline. That goes so much behind it, but if I could say it in one word, if you have discipline, if you do the things when you don't want to do it, if you stick with the plan, if you write what you're gonna do and you really follow up, that's when you start seeing your confidence just starting to bloom. And with discipline, it's the beginning of the year. It is the perfect time to start over. It is the perfect time to really lock in this winter time where, you know, you're not going out a lot, you're inside the house most of the time, there's not a lot of events going on. This is the time to work on whatever you want to, whatever is your goal, you know, health goals, business goals. There's so many things that we can do. Right now, it's like that's sowing season. And we can see the harvest later. That's how I think of it. A lot of the time, whenever we're forced to, whether it's winter time or whenever we're forced to stay inside or be isolated, that is the time to work on what you can for yourself. As I was driving to my studio, I usually listen to podcasts that was like just encouraging. And I heard this from, I'm not sure if it's Diary of a CEO, I don't know, one of the podcasts I heard, if you feel like you're not taking care of yourself, if you feel unmotivated, if you feel like you haven't been feeling like yourself, maybe you're taking care of others too much. And that shut me up because that's something to reflect. So really think about it. If you feel like you've been lacking self-care, have you been taking care of others way more than yourself? Not even considering yourself. And if I'm gonna be honest, I'm the one in my family where everyone calls me. I am the point of call. So if someone needs to be picked up, if somebody needs something, it's calling Sada first. And so as a middle child, sometimes I feel like the older child too. And so when all these things seem so much on me, I'm taking care of everything, I see my self-care kind of going lower. And self-care doesn't mean hand mask, foot mask, hair mask. Oh, I forgot to say deep conditioner. Having that time, you know, mentally, spiritually. Do you have that time to fill up your cup before you fill others? It's good to help others. It's good. I love being a help to my family, to, you know, the ones around me. But when I don't take care of myself, I'm not doing what I can, but I almost feel drained. If you're on that boat with me, okay? If you feel like you've been taking care of a lot of people, take time for yourself. And here's something that you could do that I'm gonna be doing, okay? To really get back and get out of that funk, that winter blues, that whatever we're feeling right now, okay? First, write a to-do list before you start your day or the night before. Write a to-do list, and it doesn't have to be 10 or 12 things. Just write 4 or 5 things that you need to do the next day. If one is all you can do for that day, at least you did that. Before you go to bed, you're like, oh, I got this done. I think writing to-do list has been helping me. I have this app, it's called Someday. I don't even know where I found it. I can't even pick up my phone, but it's called Someday, and it has like a purple circle on it. And it's so easy. I just write down what I need to do. When I'm done, I click check. And when I see that check, it is so satisfying. Next is have a nighttime routine. So if you feel like you've been lacking sleep, it's been hard to sleep, you haven't been consistent with the time you're sleeping, you have this routine that helps you go to bed. I'm gonna do a whole routine detailed thing about it, but it's been helping me. The routine I have set for myself, I go to bed almost the same time every single day. I have my nighttime shower, I do this, I've been adding castor oil to my belly button. There's so many new things I've added that now when I touch my bed, I feel tired to go to bed. Instead of doom scrolling, instead of just staying up, watching different things. And that really helps because sleep is a big part of our energy for the next day, how we feel. Next is do a self-care thing that you've been holding off for a while. My hands have been looking neglected. It's been ashy dry. When was the last time you did, you know, full everything shower routine to really just help you feel taken care of? Something small. It doesn't have to be 10 different things. Just one self-care thing that you've just been holding off on. Another thing is just journal. Journal with how you feel right now. Whether it's something that you're going through or you're just not been feeling it, really sit down and write down. Sometimes I have 3 pages of things I am just writing down. I'm like, this is all in my brain. This is something I needed to let out. So I have been journaling every night. I have like this journal right beside my bed. When I tell you I feel released going to bed, but not only that, the next morning I wake up feeling like just lighter. I don't explain it. How I do my journals is at nighttime, I just write down what I did for the day. I think of it like I'm talking to God. So today I did this, I did this. I felt a way about this, but then I accomplished this. I did this, I didn't know I could do this. Sometimes I read it over again to really understand what's going on in here. And it really does help. And it just kind of feels like I'm taking something off my shoulder. One thing about me, I'm not the type to sit down and talk to somebody like, listen, I'm open about my feelings. Sometimes I almost feel like, genie in a bottle. I keep all my thoughts bottled up, which is so unhealthy. And it's something that I'm working on, and I want to start being more vulnerable, especially on this channel. Just being vulnerable with yourself. On the journal, writing down exactly how you feel. That also helps release that stress. One other thing you could do is get ready for the day. Whether it's putting on makeup, dressing up, putting some type of effort. I feel like this helps, especially during the winter. And I know we can't wear things. We're wearing 5 different jackets. We're layering. Do what you can to feel put together. Whether it's a matching sweat set, whether it's when you go to work, adding one thing, layering your jackets. Making sure your clothes is clean, you smell good, putting in effort, it will help your day out. If you feel like you're rushing in the morning, you don't have time before going to work, class, set it the night before. As part of your night routine, set your clothes on the side the night before, set your perfume, your deodorants, your purse is already packed. And so when you wake up in the morning, you put it on, you feel good, you go to work, you do good. I think it's time to take this out. I already feel it's soft. Oh, it feels like I got brand new hands. Once I do the mask, I like to add body butter and cuticle oil. That's something that I need to, the lotion, hand lotion. I love the L'Occitane, and then for cuticle oil, I also like the L'Occitane, but I left it at home. So I use any type of like argan oil. When my cuticles are clean, it makes my nails just like extra elegant, extra glowy, extra taken care of. That is something I've added, something I do every single day because Have you ever seen dry cuticles where it's like almost hanging? Not a hang, kind of like a hangnail, but it's like, so I need to get my nails done soon, but if you can see there's a space, and when I don't get it done with that space, there's like this white line, which gets on my nerve. Sometimes I even have to lick it because I'm like, we're not having that white thing. That's something I try to avoid, and if I just put cuticle oil every single night, it works. I know a lot of people use fancy ones, you don't have to. I would use Aquaphor. I don't use Aquaphor anymore, but you know, CeraVe healing ointment, any type of like Vaseline, all of that, just put it in your cuticles. I promise you don't need to spend so much just for cuticle oil. Some days if I'm putting on my body butter, like Naturium, I'll just put it on my hands. It does the same thing, moisturizes. The one thing I'll say is like our feet and hands need that extra richness. So that's why I like using body butters instead of just lotion. I feel like lotion, our skin has like different parts. So our skin is, on our face is different than our back, than the back of our thighs. So there's like different kinds. And so I feel like our hands and feet just needs that extra love. But today I'm gonna use the L'Occitane. They actually have the bigger one. I use this for my feet too. It says hand cream. I love how it feels. I also like the scent. It's very like baby powder. If you don't like that scent, just get some type of like unscented anything. My favorite unscented body butter is the Josie Maran. They have one that's like unscented. With the smell, it's so comforting, but also my hands feel like baby's boom. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of this. I don't like when my cuticles are like dripping in oil, and so I just like tap it and I just put a little bit. Sometimes I even like do one tap and just like go all over, because when it's too much, then it's like I can't function. When I pick up my phone, the oil is left on the screen. I don't like that. I also have matte phone case. It's matte, so if I put some type of oil, it starts to leave a stain, and I don't like that. I also put it on my knuckles. Whenever my nail tech does my nails, she always puts some type of like cuticle oil, and then she kind of just like runs it down my knuckles, and it just makes it look so shiny, moisturized. I'm also gonna put it on my nails just so it could look, I know it's 3 weeks old, but so it looks shiny. But do you see it now? Where is the ashiness? I don't know. Now let's do the feet. Okay, my hands and feet are moisturized. Feel like I got brand new skin now. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was comparison, because I feel like this also has been getting me. But I know there's someone out there that just feels like, you know, comparing themselves and feeling less, or what they're doing is not enough, or just other things. But, you know, comparison also comes from just watching too many things, you know, social media, all of that we're all exposed to. But also, even like friends, you know, you see somebody else doing better than you, or somebody that's older than you. A couple of days ago, I searched up, I don't know why I searched up, but I was like, wow, this new artist, her name is Doechii, and she was coming up, you know, I wonder how old she is with this much success. And so I just wanted to check, you know, subconsciously, it's like, it wasn't intentionally like, oh, I wanted to see, am I doing good in life? Let me check. But it was just in the back of my mind. Because when I checked, she's the same age as me, and I'm like, wow, she has so much success. But then I think about myself. I also have success. But in that moment, it was such a human moment, because it's like we compare ourselves so much to the people we see, the people we think, oh, okay, at this age, I should have had this. At this age, I should have owned this many things. At this age, I should have had a job that pays me this much. Even if you're in college and you don't know what you're gonna do with your major, or you should figure it out if you're like a senior in college. Nobody really has it figured out. Everybody's just kind of taking it little by little. But again, social media makes us think that everybody has this success and everyone is in life and they get to travel here, and I'm still here, working here, like stuck at this job. There's so many things, but I feel like, you know, comparison is a thief of joy. It will steal your joy so quick. But I'm here to say, to remind you and to remind myself, that you're on time. You're on time, whatever age you're at. Whatever brought you to where you are right now, that's called on time, because that was written for your life. And so I have to remind myself, God has something written for me. I trust him with my future. He has a future to prosper, not to harm me. There's so many things I have to read back the promises. And another thing is like, have an anchor. Have something to always go back on. My foundation, Jesus Christ. Anytime I feel this type of thing, whether it's comparison, whether I feel like I'm not doing enough, or whether I'm feeling like oh, this already has been done. If I do it, what difference will it make? What you're doing will make a difference. If you're living in your purpose, if you're, every single day I ask God, Lord, lead me to your will for my life. Because what I think and what I want, I don't even know, okay? So I fully trust him. So have something to like anchor back, to look back on. Whenever you're going through these things, what do you look back to? What do you look back to really remember who you are? And so for me, I read back promises, verses, those type of things. And so comparing myself to others is not helping. Also, it's an insult to God. If you really think about it, he made you and you're like, but you made her better. But she has it more. Do you know? That is an insult. So also keeping in mind that you are made, how you're made, with the abilities that you have. And so I think just focusing on the things that you're good at will help. All these things, Mel Robbins, I recently actually started listening to her, but she has a quote that says, the next decision you're about to make will make your life. So every small decision that we make, if we do it in a way of like, okay, this is authentic to me, I'm not doing this for others, but I know that comparing myself and like making decisions based off, oh, someone is there, so let me do exactly how they did it. No, it's really finding out, what do we do next? What's the next decision that we make? And so what helps me is thinking, last year, this time, where was I? What's different from last year? And if I think, right now I'm thinking, so much things have changed, so much things have progressed. I've seen the goodness of God throughout this year. And so thinking, last year, where were you? At least one thing has been better, has been solved, your prayer has been answered, you've accomplished this. There's this thing that we forget because we're looking at others and their success and how they zoomed through this, or how they got so much success off of social media or making so much money and all these worldly success. But you do have success, okay? I know it's a little cheesy, me versus me, but you really have to think that. But also, if you think about yourself last year, and let's say you're doing better last year than now, this is your time to start over and to do better. And what can you improve from that? A lot of people say like, last year I was at the weight that I wanted to be, and now, I fell off. This is your time. You can pick up everything, okay? Every single day. How does a rat eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so for us, every single day, do something small towards it, and you'll get to a goal where it becomes a habit, where it's part of your lifestyle, that you'll be better than where you were last year. And to finish off, I want to go to my source of Galatians 6:4. Pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of the job well done, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else. What I'm getting is, if you focus on the things that you already have, what you're working towards, you don't have to compare it to others. He made me how I am. He made you how you are. Exactly. There's nobody else that has like the same thing, same DNA, same hair, same part. Just us as humans, we just tend to compare. That's how we base off our progress. Something I'm also working on, and so especially during like this winter blues, this winter season where it's like easier to just sit down on your couch and just scroll because there's not a lot of things going on. Limit that, because that will lead to comparison. Comparison will steal your joy, so it leads it to that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope your hands and feet feel moisturized, but also I wanted to do this chit chat, and I feel like I got a lot off my chest. If you resonated with anything I said, let me know, okay, in the comments. I feel like a lot of people are going through this, because I've been talking to like friends, people I know, and it's like we're all kind of just going through that. I literally had this discussion with my sister, so I felt like a lot more people needed to hear this. So if you did, let me know. Also, if you do the hand and feet care routine, let me know how your feet and hands feel. But thank you so much for watching, and come again.